But to tie this video up before we get onto the second principle, and I want these to be short, to the point videos, is to say that for me personally, in my experience, at a certain point, I just had to get real. I had to get real about the fact of my issues with alcohol, my issues with certain harmful behaviors, and at a certain point, I had to say to myself, you know what? I want to renunciate this stuff. I want to give this stuff up. From a 12-step perspective, it's very similar to the concept of saying that we admitted that we are powerless over alcohol or whatever your drug of choice is, and that our lives have become unmanageable. I originally was a 12-step enthusiast. I still am a supporter of 12-step recovery programs as far as the steps themselves, but this is not a 12-step video. But I will say the advice and the recommendation from an addiction standpoint of admitting that our physiological response to certain substances, that we are powerless over the reward systems of our brain, that makes sense to me. That makes perfect sense to me. I would also say that in addiction, and especially in recovery, a wonderful, wonderful first step of recovery is just admitting that our lives have become unmanageable. Because that's a cornerstone of recovery, is just to say, hey, what is addiction? Addiction is continuing to do a harmful, hurtful, negative behavior that has negative consequences, regardless of said negative consequences. That's a fair assessment to say life's unmanageable. Now, we don't need to get into all the details today, but I know for myself in my active addiction, in the throes of addiction back in the day, my life certainly was unmanageable.